I'm Scott Morris, and in this video we're going to be focusing on the second half of Carcassi's Etude number 3 from the famous Opus 60 set of etudes. And what I did in the first video was I focused on the first part of this. It's a two-part little etude here, and I've got a number of requests to go through and do a little walkthrough of what's going on in the second half of the piece. So that's what I'm here to do today. And I'd like to go through, not really measure by measure because it'll take too long and be awfully tedious, but try to use a couple of particular measures that we can sort of apply concepts to the rest of the piece, and point out some of the trickier spots here, and hopefully make it so that you are more successful in playing this piece. So let's start right away in the first measure of the second half. So that's measure 9 for those of you who have the score. We have that there. And what I really want to say about this is there are two things to think about with the left hand. I know most people think of this as a right hand study because it's an arpeggio. And by the way, I talked about the right hand quite a bit in the first part of, or the first video on Etude 3. So if you want to hear about the right hand in more detail, go back and watch the first video. So I'm just going to really mostly focus on the left hand here because that's what's different in the second half. So two things to think about. One is finger preparation. Two is when you actually put the fingers down on the strings. And right in the beginning, the only finger you really need down is the first finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. So that's a G sharp there. And then the other thing you want to think about is preparation. So notice where my 3rd finger is. It's actually hanging out over the second, or the 2nd fret of the 1st string, so that all I have to do is just put it down, and I play that G sharp. You'll also notice that my 2nd finger, my middle finger, is hanging out over the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Well, the reason for that is it's going to go down there. The other thing I want to just point out is you put the fingers down only as you need them rather than all at once. Again, one of the big mistakes a lot of players make is they try to figure out what the chord is for the entire measure, and they feel like they need to put down all of their fingers in the beginning of the measure for the entire thing, and that's actually not a good way to think about it. It's not very efficient, and actually kind of messes up your synchronization and things like that. So here's how it's actually going to work. I'm preparing. 3 goes down when I need it. Relax 3. 2's prepared. 2 goes down when I need it. And you kind of go through like that. So just put things down as you need them. Moving into bar 10, you got to be careful here because we have a bar here with the first finger. And overbarring is one of those other things that you really have to look out for as a guitar player. Holding down more strings than is absolutely necessary. So here, if you look at the measure, you'll see that you only need to bar the top 4 strings, so 1 through 4. So you don't need to bar 5, you don't need to bar 6, just bar those 4 there. 4 is prepared. You leave the bar down for the next bar. So 2 and 3 go down and they were prepared, right? So you always have to be thinking ahead. Then bar 12, relax the bar. So you don't lift the bar because lifting sort of implies effort. It's going to be difficult. I say relax the bar, and that's different because if you say lift, you kind of pull up, and often when people lift up the fingers, they forget to relax them. If you relax, you'll notice that your finger just sort of naturally gets out of the way if you've got a good left hand position. So, bar 10, 2 and 3 are prepared for bar 11, and then relax the bar for bar 12. The pinky is on the A, on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and this is kind of tricky, especially if you're, like a lot of guitar players out there, and your pinky is the least sort of cooperative finger on your left hand. I know some players who actually have played for years and years and years without actually ever using their pinky. So, don't do that. 4 kind of does that. It's like a little, it's not really a slide, but it's going to be nice and legato. 1 is prepared. Now 1 has to do that on the other side. Right, so here's this cool little thing that Carcassi did. So get, so you can make a little exercise of that. So this is really about finger independence here. So again, here's bar 12. Notice the pinky. Now notice 1. Now the pinky has to go back up and do it again, and then relax everything. And that's bar 14. So then you finally arrive on that chord there. Now notice when I play that chord, I put 3 down on the F sharp, then I put a little half bar down, then I put 4 down. I don't just throw the whole chord down. Again, that's not very efficient. Now we're going to shift that little half bar. So this is, we talk about guide fingers. Well, this is kind of like a guide bar, guide half bar. Anyway, so instead of going, we've got that, right, in bar 14, shifting to bar 15 there, so this is at 7. And what I like to do here, kind of practice it there, you want to relax the bar, but don't take it off the string. So, you feel the strings as you move up, and then right when you get there, put it back down. You want to be able to do that nice and legato, so it's not, you don't want that, and you don't want it either, so it's, so again, so going from bar 15 to 16, get that half bar there, now I'm going to a full bar, but it's a little bit deceptive. It's not really a full bar in that I'm holding down all 6 strings. Actually, when you look at the chord that you have to play here, I need the 6th string, right? That's C sharp. I need the 3rd string, the 2nd finger there, so it's not actually even part of the bar. I need the 2nd string, that is part of the bar. I need the 1st string, but I don't actually need 5 or 4. So 5, 4, and 3, because of the 2nd finger, are kind of out. Here's a little trick you can use here. This helps me a lot. Instead of putting down the entire thing like, a capo, I sort of flex the tip here, and then 5, 4, and 3, I'm not actually pushing down, and then the top 2 strings I am. So you get a nice little trick, and then you put down the 2nd finger. It's much more efficient, saves you a bunch of energy. And then the only part of the beat is where you're not playing triplets. Get those 8th notes in there. And just one little side note there. A lot of students, for whatever reason, turn those 8th notes into 16th notes and play them way too fast. So I would just recommend getting out a metronome and going back and forth between, dot, 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 so you can really feel the 3 division of the beat and then the 2 division of the beat. Not most, but far too many students, in my opinion, they get to that. And they just turn them into 16th notes there or something. Anyway, they're Russian. The last part of this here, so this is bar 17 for those of you following along at home. This is just like measure 1 of the first part of the piece. Then it goes someplace a little bit different. Get this sort of repeated A. Right, and then it's all about that first string. Bring that out, and that's actually a right hand issue. So I said I wasn't going to talk about the right hand, and then you can go back and watch the first video. But just in case you can't find the time to do that, I do just want to point out that a little exercise like this, where you practice the arpeggio and practice bringing out the first string, is a very valuable thing to do, and it's actually really simple. How do you make more sound with the string? Well, you just move it further, you displace it further, and then let it go. So, less, move it more, bring it right out there. It's really helpful to record yourself and see if you can really tell that melody is coming out, and if it's not, then again go back and look at the right hand there for that. Okay, so just to kind of wrap this up here, the last couple of lines. So starting in bar 19. So first finger there. That's kind of like the beginning of the second half. So nothing really new there. But now we're going 5th position. And it looks like a bar straight away from beat 1, but it's actually not. If you look at it closer, you play an A, so the 5th string. You put the 2nd finger down on the C sharp. You put the 1st finger down on the E and the pinky here on the B. You don't actually need to put the bar down until you move to that A. So this is, a little hinge bar actually. So I don't put the bar down right away. There's no bar, and then right when I need it, I just do that. So you go from this to that. So that's a nice little trick as well. So all sorts of little tricks with bars here in this piece here. Okay, so now this is actually pretty hard in my opinion. So you're going for this A major chord here too. Right, so it's a completely different shape. And what do you do when you have something like that? Well, you really have to choreograph the left hand. So you know that the 1st finger is going to the F sharp, and then again, you don't try to grab the whole chord at once. Put them down as you need them. So you do this really slow. 1, 3, 2, 4. You see, just as you need them. And here's that little pinky shift again. And then I recommend, even though a lot of editions out there show the next measure, this is bar 22. The C sharp played with 3. I actually would, rather do this. Take the pinky as a guide finger, like that. I think that works a little bit better. Then another really tough one here. You have to go from 7th position all the way down to 1st for this little diminished chord here. Again, put the fingers down only as you need them. 1, 3, open, 2. 2 goes down, 1 goes down, 4 goes down. Shift up to a little A major chord, and you're done right there. So, hold that last note, and there's a rest at the end. I think he's trying to tell you something there. The piece isn't over, so hold it, and then you're done. So that's a quick little walkthrough of the second half of Carcassi's Etude number 3, Opus 60. And as I said before, part 1 of this video focuses on the first half of the Etude, also a little bit more about the right hand and things like that. So hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.